This is the Giant's Causeway in Ireland, and I used it as the inspiration for my 40K bases for my Astra Militarum regiment. I like the kind of volcanic look of it, so let me show you how I did it. So I got some pencils from the dollar store and I started cutting the ends off. I tried cutting one or two or three at a time, and I found that the easiest was just to do one. It gave me a variable height as well. If I cut them all the same length, it ended up looking a little flat, especially since there's 7 of these little hexagons per base. If 5 of them are all the same height, it's a little bit more noticeable. I found I had to lift the pencil up and put it on something so that I didn't cut into the mat. This made an awful mess, and you will see by the end of this video I had to wash my mat off so I could actually see what I was doing because it got quite dirty. As you see here, I'm going to start sanding these down to make them look less like broken pieces of wood and make them look more like broken pieces of rock. This was very time consuming because there were 70 little pieces, and I ended up sanding both sides and I ended up breaking a few. But that was okay because I ended up using those broken pieces on one of the bases. I want to take a moment to talk about the custom regiment that I'm doing this for. The Brandstrom Red Rifles are monster hunters from a planet called Brandstrom that is mostly water with some islands. Think kind of like the Hebrides and the Orkney Islands and Faroe Islands and Iceland, kind of the northern Atlantic. It's a very rough seas, it's overcast all the time, and they are on these like castle boats going out and hunting sea monster krakens that are just devolved Tyranids. So the Imperium of Man takes over this planet full of people who specialize in killing Tyranids and decides to send them out among the stars to kill Tyranids on other planets, which works really well because my friend has some Tyranids and I have done unreasonably well against them for someone who doesn't actually know how to play Warhammer that well. But the key to the guard is you just sit on objectives and wait for the game to end. So now I'm taking some gravel I got from my hobby store and kind of gluing it in between the edges. I wanted something a little finer, but this is what I had, and it ended up looking okay in the end. It looks more like a pebbly beach than a black sand beach, but I'm okay with that. Once it's glued in place, I use a needle to kind of press it to look more like a realistic little pile. If I just kind of dunked it and left it there, you'd have pieces of gravel clinging to the side of the rock where it didn't make sense. I kind of wanted to push it in, make it look like a little hill that had been pushed up against the basalt. I did this several times per base across 10 bases. I love the way they came out. I like the way that my soldiers look on top of them. I haven't painted the soldiers yet because they're going to get the bone-colored armor, but these bases are just amazing, and I can't wait to see what maybe a dry brush does to them. I might make them a little darker, but I'm loving them.